Our gathering song for the month of August is number 1010, We Give Thanks. Please rise in body or in spirit. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society. It is wonderful to see all of you here this morning. I'm Kara Beauchamp. I'm a member of this congregation and a worship associate. I'm a 60-year-old white woman with white hair, and my pronouns are she and her. Our service this morning is led by Dave Martin, a longtime member of UUS. Our minister, Reverend Diana Smith, will return to the pulpit next Sunday. At UUS, we love that we are a congregation made of people of many ages, genders, races, sexual orientations, classes, abilities, and health statuses. We invite you to bring your whole self to this place and to be present in this moment as you are able. We are glad that you are here. As Unitarian Universalists, we are guided by our shared principles, sources, and values. This morning, our service focuses on our value of justice, which calls us to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression, and to work to be a diverse, multicultural, beloved community where all thrive. We give thanks for this land and all who have cared for it over the centuries, particularly the Kickapoo, the Iowa, the Sauk, and the Meskwaki, and the Osheti-Chakawan nations. If doing something with your hands during worship services helps you, we invite you to visit the Soulworks table outside the sanctuary doors and pick up something to work with. If you're newer to our congregation, we invite you to learn more about us after the service. For those here in person, you can talk to a greeter at the welcome table. For those online, there's a link to a visitor form in the YouTube notes that will let you connect with us. We hope our time together this morning lets us find inspiration, build connections, and reaffirm our commitment to create a world where love, compassion, and understanding prevail.
Good morning. My name is Dave Martin. I'm a 78-year-old white man with gray hair and a gray beard. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm wearing a tan shirt. These words from Sean Neil Barron. Your body is welcome here, all of it. Yes, even that part, and that part, and yes, even that part. The parts you love and the parts you don't. For in this place we come with all that we are, all that we have been, and all that we are going to be. Our bodies are constantly changing. Cells die, cells are reborn. We respond to infections and disease. Sometimes we can divorce them from our bodies. Other times they become a permanent part of us. Your body and all that is within it, both wanted and not wanted, has a place here. Our bodies join in a web of co-creation, created and creating, constantly changing us, scarred and tattooed, tense and relaxed. Your body is welcome here, all of it. So take a moment and welcome it. Take a moment to feel in it. Take a moment to be in it.
Our opening hymn for this morning is number 149, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat of weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past to marvelous past, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy right led us into the night, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame within a chalice as a symbol of sanctuary and safety, to unite us in worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Andrew lights our chalice. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer, to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise, this we covenant with life and one another.
Each week, we light a candle for justice and healing to acknowledge our interdependence with the natural world and with all members of the global community, especially the most vulnerable. We light this candle so that we may not be numb to injustice and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, and love as we work in solidarity with others for liberation, justice, and healing. Together, we create resilience and hope. Today, as we light this candle, we're particularly mindful of our immigrant families who are scared to death of their lives and their livelihood. As I light this candle, let's hold a time of silence to listen to our hearts and bodies, or perhaps to lift up prayers.
Morning. My name is Nick Kaplan. My pronouns are they, them, and I serve Unitarian Universalist Society as the Director of Lifespan Religious Education. And I need some help from you all today. Does anyone here know how to sew? Oh, like really, does anyone here know how to sew? Yeah, hey, Judy, how do you sew? Okay. 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 So I need fabric. Sometimes I can hand sew after I've cut everything out and I'm following a pattern. Sometimes I can hand sew or I can use a machine. For the fabric, okay, fabric, cut it out, hand sew, machine. Okay, fantastic, I think I've got this. I have some seeds that need to be sown. Can I use any fabric? Why are we laughing? Why? Yeah, why is everybody laughing at me? Oh, okay, well now we're getting different kinds, but okay, why were you laughing at me? With me? Oh, so could have a different meaning. So Judy wasn't talking about seeds? No. Okay, so if I had said that I have some seeds I need to sow, I could have gotten a better answer for me. So if you all had known better, you could have given me a better answer. Or if we knew better, we could do better. Awesome. Okay, another question. I'm looking for a new moose. A new kind of moose. Where do you recommend I look? Alaska? Alaska? Do I really have to go all the way to Alaska for some hair product? Isn't there something a little closer? If Sarah had known more information, if she had known better, she could do better. Awesome. Another one. Our neighborhood is working together to spruce up this little park nearby, and our family was asked to get some bulbs. Does anyone have a suggestion as to what kind we should get? What kind? LED. Can I plant LED bulbs in any kind of soil, or do I need a specific kind? If we had known better, we could do better. Joe was frustrated the other day. For those of you who don't know, they're my spouse. Joe was frustrated the other day because one of the dress shirts we got had spots. Does anyone have any recommendations for what we can do? Nadia, I can't hear you. What should we do? Stain remover? Okay. Does that work on all sizes of polka dots or just little ones? Nadia knew where I was going with that. She was going to give me both answers. I had to cut her off. So when we know better, we can do better. In each of these situations, when we had more information, when we knew better, we could do better. It would be silly to dry and grow veggies for our garden by stitching them together, whether we're using a hand or a machine, right? It would be silly to go all the way to Alaska just to get some hair product. It would be silly, again, to plant light bulbs in the dirt or use spot remover to try and get rid of polka dots. But these aren't the only types of situations where when we know better, we can do better. As a group of people who lift up the importance of being lifelong learners, we can keep learning more so that we know better and we can do better. Thank you.
I knew we did. All right. As we come together in the spirit of unity and love, we acknowledge the importance of supporting the community which nurtures us. Our members support the life and work of this Unitarian Universalist congregation with their time and their talent, and by making and fulfilling annual pledges. Our collective generosity sustains our programs, our outreach efforts, and this inspiring space. In response to the abundance that we are blessed with, every week this congregation also donates generously to organizations in the community whose work aligns with our values and principles. The offering this month will be split among 3 nonprofits which support immigrants: the Immigrant Welcome Network, Escucha Mi Voz, and the Equitable Local Lending Initiative, also known as ELLI. These organizations create pathways to stability for newly arrived immigrant families, call for dignity and justice among immigrant workers, and provide microloans to low-income and underserved people for business development. In the sanctuary, the ushers will collect the offering. All cash contributions go directly to our community partner agencies and the Community Common Fund. You can follow the instructions on the screen to give online. If you are writing a check, please use the memo line to designate the purpose. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts.
Once upon a chocolate time, a long, long chocolate time ago, the golden age of chocolate began.
I know 'cause I was there.
When it comes to chocolate, he's a many flavored man, you know, 'cause that's the age of chocolate he ran. With oh such style and flair, and the golden age of chocolate has lasted all these years. The golden age of chocolate that every child reveres.
But soon I'll be retiring to make way for someone new. Some bright spark I'll be hiring, but who? But who? But who? But who? Whatever your opinion is about me, the chocolate world would not survive without me.
Chocolate sprinkles, the chocolate tipples, chocolate ruffles, the chocolate truffles, chocolate kisses, the sweet young misses, soft and creamy, completely dreamy. Chocolate ices, for chocolate crisis, will grow and grow and grow. The day that he retires will no, 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 no. No, Willy Wonka just can't go. There'll be no more chocolate swirls, chocolate giggles, chocolate twirlies, chocolate swirlies, chocolate twirlies, chocolate bubbles, chocolate bugles, chocolate bubbles, chocolate troubles, grow and grow and grow. The day that he retires will no, 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 no. No, Willy Wonka just can't go. As the golden age of chocolate has lasted all these years, the golden age of chocolate that every child reveres. There's a golden age of chocolate history we must write somehow. For the golden age of chocolate to make life sweeter now.
That was a small amount of our campers from Willy Wonka Kids. And we are so thankful that they were able to join us this morning with all their families. There it is. Each week when we head to our religious education classes, our children light a lantern as a symbol of the love and hope that goes with them as they explore our faith. Children, youth, and teachers, anyone who wants to come outside with me, children, youth, teachers, anyone who wants to come outside, please come forward as Lise lights our lantern from our chalice. We can all join in singing, "Be Open," as children, youth, and teachers head to religious education. The words are on your screen.
Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility.
Erica Rushley is going to join us to introduce a video that we're going to watch.
Hello. My name is Erica Rushley, 5'7", she, her, middle-aged, gray hair. And I am up here this morning to introduce the Hope for Us outreach video. I am a member of Right Relations, and as a Right Relations team person, we have partnered with Hope for Us, and we're bringing them to the congregation, and they are here to support us to learn or to do better in terms of how we manage our communication patterns and how we work with our communication in a way that's just and creative and helpful for all. But I'm going to let the video, actually the Hope for Us team members, Jess and Skyla, talk to us. And then afterwards, if you all have questions or want to know more about Hope for Us, we're going to have an outreach table with me, Sarah Ross, and Kristen Wildensee, and you can ask us any questions and get more involved. So if the video's here, please bring it up.
I'm Jess Martinez. I use they, them pronouns. And I'm one of your Hope for Us coaches. I live in Central Florida, where it's currently boiling outside. And I've had the honor of working with Unitarian Universalists across the country to engage conflict as a form of community care.
And I'm Skyla King Christensen. I use she, her pronouns, and I am your other Hope for Us coach. I'm a Tennessee native, worshiping and working in the foggy Pacific Northwest, and this is my first time connecting with your congregation. I'm pretty excited to be here.
Some of you may remember me from earlier conversations. Hello again, and welcome to my encore. Skyla is new to you all, and I'm thrilled you get to work with her. She is wise, warm, and brings a calm presence to a courageous space.
Thank you. And Jess brings heart and humor and a ton of wisdom. We both believe deeply that engaging in conflict, especially this subtle kind that is systemic and feels like a low-level fog of disconnection, engaging in that is part of how we care for each other.
And we want to pause here for a second, because just hearing the word conflict can make folks feel nervous. Like something must be wrong. And we want to reassure you, nothing is on fire. No one is in trouble. You are not broken.
Exactly. What we're seeing is something many congregations face, patterns where it's hard to name the tension, disagreements make things just a little uneasy, and trust is just a bit harder to come by than it used to be. This is not at all about blame. This is about care.
Right? Conflict isn't something to fear. It's a signal or a message. As Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson said, it's the relationship asking to go deeper. When it feels hard to share, to trust, or to show up vulnerably, that tells us something important is asking for attention.
And that's why we're here, not to take sides, not to call anyone out, but to help you strengthen your relationships with one another. Because the world needs your congregation to be bold and connected and grounded in justice, maybe especially in Iowa.
Right now, we're in the listening phase. We've already met with Reverend Diana and the board and some folks one-on-one, but we want to hear from you too. There's an intake form you can fill out, and you can request a one-on-one or a small group conversation with us. Contact the church office or email us at coralvillehope@uua.org for more instruction.
The more stories that we hear, the better picture we can get of what's happening and get a better idea of where healing might begin. Our next phase, small group sessions for practicing courageous discomfort together. These will move at the speed of trust. So we need you to help us get there, building trust gently and honestly.
We're grateful to be on this journey with you. Thank you for trusting us and this process, even as it feels a little messy. That's where the transformation lives.
We're really glad to be here with you, and we're looking forward to talking soon.
I have two readings this morning. The first one is part of a poem written by Caleb, the Negro artist Rainey, called Staying Woke. Caleb has performed here in this space a couple of times in the last few years. It's been a few years, but he has been here. He writes, "I was a black boy born into a dream state, surrounded by a warped world that couldn't define love and hate. I was blindfolded by a fallacy. The people around me seemed to live comfortably with contradictions, having learned where the loopholes of logic lie and the unfinished route of reason resides. They had been trained not to question it. I was always a restless sleeper, tossing and turning at the sight of scenes that did not make any sense. Obama was president. You can be anything. Tossing. What sports do you play? Turning. It's about the content of your character. Tossing. She's not allowed to date black guys. Turning. Everyone has an equal opportunity. Tossing. I'm the only black boy in advanced courses. Turning. It's all about who you know. Tossing. My family spends more time behind bars than desks. Turning and tossing." And then this reading by Darius Simpson, who's a black poet who was raised in Oakland, California, called Decentering Whiteness, What We Call a Thing. The saying goes, sticks and stones may break your bones. The saying goes, words can never hurt you. But I want to talk about the density of language, or how reality can be obscured by a sentence, or how a sentence can be obscured by the color of your skin. Do you see how easy it is to manipulate humanity? I want to talk about foundations. 39 people gathered to codify the United States. 11 of those 39 people owned slaves. What happens when we call them founding fathers instead of colonizers? I want to talk about shifting trends in representation and the cost to indigenous people who still protect the land. You say transatlantic slave trade, and immediately the mind starts to focus on the direction of the boats and not the stolen histories decaying below the deck. Do you see how quickly the water runs red? Unnaming is a process of manipulation. For example, if I call a human a prisoner, immediately you stop questioning the legitimacy of the cage. What happens when words like revolution and abolition are more forbidden than words like lethal injection or life without possibility? So my reflection today is called Woke is Not a Pejorative Term. And the subtitle was going to be, and DEA does not cause plane crashes or floods. And I figure you all know that. For purposes here, I'm going to define woke as someone who is informed, educated, and conscious of social justice and racial inequality. It is believed to have been first used in a protest song, Scottsboro Boys, by Huddie Ledbetter, better known as Leadbelly, in the 1930s. The Scottsboro Boys were 9 black teenagers falsely accused of raping 2 white women aboard a Southern Railroad freight train in Alabama in 1931. In the song he sings, and I'm not going to sing it, he sings, "So I advise everybody, be a little careful when they go along through Alabama. Be careful and stay woke." In other words, be careful, keep your eyes open, stay woke. That case helped spur the civil rights movement and loosely inspired the book and movie To Kill a Mockingbird. It comes out of the experience of black people of knowing that you must be conscious of the politics of race, class, gender, systemic racism, etc. It came back into popular culture in 2008 after Erykah Badu's song, Master Teacher. One of the lines in his song is, "Everybody, I stay woke, I stay woke." Modern black activists have used it as a rallying cry, and now it has been co-opted by the far right as a political slogan. The governor of Florida said, His state is where woke goes to die. So I would say that anyone who's working on social justice issues, trying to make a difference with immigration, LGBTQ, climate change, prison reform, you are woke. That means that there are a lot of woke members and friends of this congregation and in lots of congregations in the area. It appears to me that the pejorative connotation of the word comes directly from the Project 2025 playbook. One passage reads, and I quote, "Future leadership must address the widely promoted woke culture that has spread throughout the federal government with identity politics and social justice advocacy, replacing such traditional American values as patriotism, colorblindness, and even workplace competence." It goes on, "The next conservative president must make the institutions of American civil society hard targets for woke culture warriors. This starts with deleting the terms sexual orientation and gender identity, diversity, equity, inclusion, gender, gender equality, gender equity, gender awareness, gender sensitive, abortion, reproductive health, reproductive rights, and any other term used to deprive Americans of their First Amendment right out of every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, regulation, and piece of legislation that exists." Sound familiar? There's a lot more, but you get my drift. So my journey to becoming more woke began in a class here at UUS led by Allison Oliver a number of years ago. It was called the Racial Justice Study and Action Group. Some of you were a part of it. We began meeting in the old house that was on this property when we bought the land, and that house was our church office and meeting space for several years. Anyway, part of our discussion in the beginning was to take some time and reflect on how you grew up with racial ideas, with racial issues. What was your family like? Your school, your neighbors, your relatives. So this brought back a memory for me, and some of you have heard me say this before, of my father taking my brother and I to baseball games in Kansas City. It was the Kansas City Athletics back then. This was in the late 50s or early 60s. We lived in an all-white suburb on the Kansas side of Kansas City, and to get to the stadium, we had to drive through a black neighborhood. Homes were in disrepair, lawns unkept, cars on blocks or abandoned. My father's comments were that he could not understand why they did not keep their property up, why they did not improve, why didn't they paint their houses, why didn't they fix their cars. So they were all lazy. I never heard him use the N-word, but the word I heard from him and some of my relatives was the J word, jigaboo. I worked on a golf course in the summer, and the word I heard there was darky. So the concept of being lazy stuck with me as I was growing up. Once I got to adulthood, college, was in the Army, professional life, it became very clear to me that, yes, there were some lazy black people, and there were some lazy white people too. Most were not. Looking back on that, during that course of study that we did, was a woke moment for me. And part of being more woke, of course, was the fact that I learned later on that those folks could not have spruced up their property, could not have repaired their cars, because they could not get a loan to buy their house or get a home improvement loan because of redlining and other such things. I learned sometime later that the town I grew up in would not allow people of color to own homes there. You all have probably read that when University Heights was first built here in this area, there were covenants that said no people of color could live there. Now that clearly has all changed. So I've had a few more woke moments over the last few years, and I hope there are more to come. During the Biden administration, you may remember there were attempts to change the names of some military bases around the country because it turns out they were named after Confederate generals. I did not know that. And I was stationed at Fort Bragg in Fayetteville, North Carolina for a while. I was in the Army, and I had no clue it was named after a Confederate general. And it embarrasses me a little bit to admit that. Now they changed the name to Fort Liberty. Okay, now they're going to change it back. And I was deathly afraid they were going to change it back to Confederate generals. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Our current Secretary of Defense is going to change it back to the name Bragg. They have found a decorated black World War II soldier named Bragg, which is okay. It's better than a Confederate general. Another moment for me. Some of you may remember back in the spring of 2022, here there was a fight at Northwest Junior High School in Coralville between black kids and white kids. Police were called. No one was seriously injured, maybe some minor injuries. Anyway, a call went out to faith communities in the area asking for folks to come out to Northwest just as a community presence to show support for the school and all the students. So I, Peg Boschke is a member here, Diana Henry is a member here, some folks from other churches in the area, both black and white, went out and for several mornings during the last days of school simply greeted the kids with a good morning, have a good day at Northwest Junior High School. It was May, so there was not that much school left. No other incidents occurred. In the summer, we were asked if we wanted to continue doing this in the next year. And if so, they wanted us to attend a one-day workshop on cultural differences put on by the community school district. Peg and Diane and I went, and there were a few others in the class. And so at the end of the class, they asked if we wanted to continue, say, being out at the schools, greeting kids. And I said, well, I'd be interested in doing it southeast, which is 5 minutes from my home, rather than northwest, which is 40 minutes from my home. And they agreed. So for the last 3 years, I have been greeting kids at Southeast 2 to 3 mornings a week. I and another guy, who's also named Dave, have been doing this together. It has been great fun. Some of the kids ignore us. Some are half asleep. Some looking at their phones as they walk in. But we get enough good mornings back, or high fives, or just a smile to make it worth my while. The students have called us the good morning guys. So one other way I have become a little more woke is by volunteering with Inside Out Reentry Community. And some of you know I've been doing this for a while. It's the group that helps folks getting out of prison. They help with jobs, housing, counseling, peer support. And I've been a volunteer there for about 8 years as a mentor, and where I'm assigned to someone who's recently come out of prison. I just started with a new person in the last couple of weeks, and this will be my fifth mentee to work with over those years. I take them out for a cup of coffee, run them to appointments, listen to what's going on. It's not easy trying to establish a life once out of prison. I have learned a lot. Some of the things I have learned is about how some folks getting out on parole or probation must have a breathalyzer installed in their car if they are dealing with some kind of addiction. And then they have to breathe into the breathalyzer for it to come back clean in order for the car to start. I didn't know that. So one of the guys showed me how the breathalyzer works one time. Another woke moment for me. And for some it is hard, and they end up back in prison. For many, they have figured out how to make things work and are leading successful lives. One thing that has stood out for me this last year, on Tuesday evenings, the Inside Out group has a coffee and conversations meeting at their office. It's primarily for guys, mostly guys with addiction issues, but anyone can join. So I drive out to the halfway house in Coralville, which is called the Hope House, pick up 2 or 3 guys and drive them back to the meeting, and then drive them back after the meeting. So I am learning a lot about addiction and how hard it is to deal with. The group is usually a mix of black, white, some Latino. And one of my favorite stories is one night during the discussion, Charlie, not his real name, was talking about his struggle with alcohol for many years. He was probably, I think, in his mid-50s, and he talked about going to his first AA meeting 30 years ago. He walked into the room and looked around, and then he looked directly at me in this small group at Inside Out and said, the room was full of middle-aged white guys. And so he left that AA meeting. And the only thing I could think to say to him was, thank you for calling me middle-aged. So I want to end my time here by mentioning that the UUA has developed over the last several years a lifespan anti-racism curriculum. And when I learned about this curriculum that was being developed and started to hear things about woke being a pejorative term, some people around the country, that got me thinking about doing this presentation. But at any rate, this lifespan anti-racism collection curriculum is in response to the Commission on Institutional Changes report, Widening the Circle of Concern. It is an OWL-like program with lessons for kindergarten through adult. So they have different lesson plans for various age groups, just like OWL does. Part of the plan is to have a certification program like the Welcoming Congregation program, emphasizing lifespan learning and diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-oppression. The idea is that congregations would go through a series of steps and then would be considered a Mosaic congregation. The program is called Mosaic, and there's more info now on the UUA website. I know that Nick is planning to use the curriculum this fall with various age groups, and I'm sure she'll be giving out more information in the fall. I am interested in helping facilitate a group for adults. A couple of folks have said they'd be willing to help me, so stay tuned for more information about this new curriculum. I'd like to end with a quote from a book called Mistakes and Miracles. Race is a social construct. Biologically, there is only one race, the human race. Many people object to the use of the word race as a descriptor because racial categories have no scientific basis. The term is particularly problematic when applied to, for example, Latinx or indigenous people. Being Latinx is a matter of culture, not of race. On the other hand, in a racialized society like that of the US, everyone is assigned a race or a racialized identity, and that identity has real effects, for good or ill, on individuals' and groups' life experiences, opportunities, access to power, and more, end quote. So, my friends, my message to you is stay woke. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and live into love and justice. Immediately after the service this morning, we'll gather in Fellowship Hall and outside for conversation and community. If you're a newcomer, we hope you'll grab a snack and then sit at any table so folks can join you for conversation.
Our closing hymn for this morning is number 1020, Wo Ya Ya. Please rise in body or in spirit.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we
Please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again. The words for our benediction are from the Reverend Dr. Becky Edmondson Lang. Mindful of our highest aspirations, bound by common faith and purpose, and yet beginning with ourselves as we are, let us take one more step together in our unending quest for dignity, justice, and love. May it be so. Go in peace.